Hey, what's going on, everybody? How is everybody doing? This is Jay Xavier Sports, and of course, as we saw on Sunday, the Jaguars got dominated by the Chiefs, 30-14, and probably one of the worst games I think Jaguar fans have witnessed in a very long time. And the Jaguars, I don't think we played that bad on offense in a long time as far as turning the ball over at the volume that we did. And let's be real about it, guys. After watching the highlights and going over the box score and reading, people's opinions and kind of watching a little bit of the game again, of course it's obvious to see that Blake Bortles was the reason why we lost. But it was just funny to see the narrative about how all the Jaguar fans, or just even in national media, were saying like our defense got shut down and our defense was the one getting manhandled, which was true to a certain extent. I mean, the Chiefs were very crisp on that first drive. They were able to move the ball down and get a touchdown, and then they had another long drive which they sustained a field goal. So they were up 10-0 pretty quick, and the game felt like it was more out of reach than what it really was. But the Jaguars had a chance to make that a 10-3 game or a 10-7 game, but they decided to go for it on fourth down, and we came away with no points. So. And then we ended up getting a turnover when we was down 10-0, and then we turned the ball right back over with a fumble on the very next play. So, and then when we got the ball back again, Blake Bortles threw the pick six. So the offense basically put the defense in a 20-0 hole in the beginning of the in the beginning of that game in the first half by just basically spotting them 10 points. People saying Tyreek Hill dominated Jalen Ramsey. I just didn't see that. It was on one play that he had the better of him. But when you look back on Jalen Ramsey's season, like Odell Beckham is probably the only receiver that had the best of him this year. It's not a lot of receivers that's really gotten the best of him this year. So I think people are just reaching a little bit because Ramsey was talking a lot of junk before the game. Telvin Smith, our defense likes to chirp. So obviously when teams start getting a win against us, you saw versus Tennessee when they won the game against the Jaguars, they was talking a lot of junk after the game because of the junk that we talk. So. But that's just the swagger that Jacksonville presents, and I don't think a lot of teams really are capable of handling that. And, if they want to talk after the game, that's fine. We lost the game, so it's no reason for us to be mad if other fans talk, or even the Jaguars if the other team talks, because we like to talk a lot too. So I thought all that stuff was fine. I just didn't like the fact that the defense was being blamed for the loss when clearly Blake Bortles had one of his career worst games as a Jaguar. I don't think anybody can deny that. I mean, he had 5 turnovers in the game, 4 interceptions, and that one fumble. He also, he threw for 430 yards, but he threw the ball 61 times and only completed the ball 33 times. And we've seen games like this before where when we ask Bortles to throw the ball more than 40, 50 times a game, which is absurd. Nobody in the NFL should be throwing the ball 50-plus times a game, but when he asking a quarterback like Blake to at least throw it 35 times a game, 40 times a game, we're not going to be successful because, 1, that means we're playing from behind. 2, that means we don't have the running game going. But that wasn't even the case on Sunday. The running game was actually going up pretty good. TJ Yeldon had 10 carries for 53 yards. I don't think he scored a touchdown in the game. I think he had a receiving touchdown, but our running backs were not playing bad in the Kansas City Chiefs game. And maybe they were a little bit skeptical because they didn't know how Corey Grant would run or Brandon Wilds, and then they didn't want TJ Yeldon to get injured because then we really would be stuck with just Corey Grant. Running back Corey Grant's out for the season now. He got injured in the Chiefs game, so that could have been a reason why we didn't run as much because as you see now, our running back room is really thin. And right now the only 2 running backs on our roster is Corey Grant and Brandon Wilds. Now, the Jaguars just signed Jamaal Charles, the free agent. He played in Kansas City Chiefs the majority of his career, but he was at the Denver Broncos last year. And he played in 14 games, but he didn't really see a lot of snaps, I guess. He only had 68 carries last year for 200 and I think it was – or 69 attempts for 296 yards and a touchdown. So about 4.3 yards a carry, about 70 touches for last season for the Denver Broncos. And Jamaal Charles is 31 years old, so he's he's getting up there in age, but he still has a little bit in the tank. So it's going to be interesting to see how we utilize him. I mean, obviously, we're probably going to utilize him as a starter, but it's going to be interesting to see how much of his workload is when he first comes in, and hopefully he performs well. I mean, if we're getting a Jamaal Charles from 4 years ago when he led the league, or I don't think he led the league in rushing, but that was his last 1,000-yard season in 2014. And he had 1,033 yards and 9 touchdowns that year. So if he's able to somehow channel that old Jamaal Charles, and we can get some of that guy back, hey, that'll be lovely. He does average about 5 yards a carry for his career. So overall, in his career, he's been a good back. He's been a great starting running back. So I thought that was a good signing. But Austin Seferian-Jenkins, our tight end, is out as well. And our left tackle, Josh Wells, was banged up during the game as well. I think he'll be able to play, but we need to sign another left tackle because Josh Walker didn't play particularly too well in the Chiefs game. Yeah, we have a lot of injuries, guys. It's something that we didn't see last year. Last year we was pretty, for the most part, Allen Robinson got hurt at the beginning of the year, but we saw throughout the year there wasn't really any major injuries. But this year we're starting to see the injuries pile up. And it's very unfortunate for this team. Obviously, Fournette has been injured for weeks this year. He's missed, I think he missed third or fourth game this year already. So, it's not looking good for this offense. The defense has been healthy, but, knock on wood, hopefully, nobody on our defense starts to get hurt because that's the backbone of our team, So I like what the Jaguars are doing. They signed Jamaal Charles. Now I feel like they need to go try to acquire some depth at left tackle. I know it's hard to find a quality left tackle at this point in the NFL season. It just is. But let's see if we can, find some guys, work some guys out, see how we can do in that department. And then tight end, Niles Paul and James O'Shaughnessy are good tight ends, don't get me wrong, but guys, we don't have anything at that receiving tight end. And Austin Seferian-Jenkins was supposed to be that guy in a way, but he wasn't really all that good this year so far. And maybe when he comes back, I hear he's supposed to come back week 10, I believe, actually. So maybe if and when he comes back, he might perform better. But it's not like we're missing that much production with him going down. So the obvious injuries that we need, or the obvious guys that we need to come back from injury, is Leonard Fournette, honestly, and then Josh Walker, we need to hope he stays, or Josh Wells, we need to hope he stays healthy, with Cam Robinson being out for the year. So, yeah, man, the injuries starting to pile up. The team looked the worst that it's looked in a long time, and I think that's why Jaguar fans are skeptical to say that this team's going to the playoffs now and that we're a Super Bowl caliber team. But I feel like it's early in the season. We pretty much were playing the same way last year, and we were very highly inconsistent last year. One week we'll blow out teams, next week we got blown out, by Tennessee, or we'll lose a close game to the Jets. So it was last year was kind of more the same as this year. You can see the inconsistency. Now I'll say the biggest difference from last year and this year is Blake. Blake is making more of the crucial turnovers this year. Or not, I won't even say turnovers, because the Chiefs game this past Sunday was the first time we've really seen that in a while from Blake, like the bad Blake. But this year, I think Blake, even though he's had the good career games, in the games which the offense has looked bad, Blake has not looked good at all. And last year, we can at least say, and sometimes the games where the offense looked bad, Blake was able to put together a couple drives and we'll, be successful and, give our defense a chance to win. Put our defense in a position to win. But we don't really see a lot of that this year. And I think part of the reason why people are starting to be down on the defense as well, going along with that point, is because our defense was able to get pick sixes and scooping scores, and we had a lot of success on defense scoring, and we're not really seeing that this year. And stuff like that gives the offense a spark. So I think that's a big reason why our offense hasn't been getting going, because our defense hasn't really been putting them in the best position always. So, but I still feel like our defense is top in the NFL. And Patrick Mahomes, yeah, he had a good day. 22 of 38. I think he had 313 yards and 2 interceptions, and he had a rushing touchdown. So he threw his first interceptions of the year against us, and he struggled for a majority of that second half. But the first half, man, he was on point. and that kid's for real. Hopefully we look good in Dallas, and I'll check back with you guys then. Like I said, I put out a preview video for that, but definitely leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Lost us this game. Like I said, we lost to the Chiefs 30-14. A lot of injuries piling up in this game, and it was just a bad day for Jacksonville. It looked like all hell was breaking loose on Sunday. But we see we turn around this week. We've already signed Jamaal Charles, and we'll see if we sign any other guys going into this game versus the Cowboys, which we better sign them by today because we didn't want to sign them too late in the season in the week. But hopefully Jamaal Charles plays Sunday. He looks good on Sunday, and we get him ready. But other than that, man, I want to see some production from this offense. So comment below and let me know what you guys think this offense is going to need to do to start scoring points or start helping this team win. But other than that, please like the video. Please subscribe. I definitely appreciate everybody looking out and showing support. But other than that, go Jags, Duval. I'll see you guys later. Peace.